Hey everybody, Tim from Workshop 12 here, and I thought I would do a quick video on a common question that we get asked quite a bit. So usually we get asked almost every day, can you make your kits fit tablet and fill in the blank? XYZ, all range of different tablets that are in there. Lots of different requests for lots of different tablets, and the reasoning behind that in some cases is I already have one of these tablets and I want to reuse it, or I'm looking for the latest and greatest specs and I'm trying to figure out which tablet that I want to use in here, and I don't like the ones that you choose and I'd like to use a different one. So there's all sorts of different varying reasons on why people are asking for different tablets. So let me give you a little bit of background behind how we make tablets work inside of the car. So primary number one concern in getting tablets to fit inside of a car is just that, do they fit? Can we find a way to manipulate the tablet in there to be able to make it work inside of the confines of the dashboard? So a good example is the FRS with the automatic climate control. There's only one tablet in the world that will fit inside that confined space based off of the kind of thresholds that we need for being able to get headphone jacks in, right angle charge jacks into there, and the actual space that's in there. So it's a common misconception for a lot of different people that there's all sorts of this space in there. Let's put in 12-inch tablets, 10.5 inches. We've got the latest and greatest whatever from Samsung. Let's put it in there. Reality is we do have some constraints of space that we can fit in there. So as an example for the FRS, we have maybe 2 millimeters of wiggle room space that we have on the top and bottom of that tablet to be able to get it to fit inside there. So really being able to try to make adjustments to make other tablets fit, and a lot of times makes a lot of redesign into what we have to do with the plastics. Not only just the tablet holders in the background and what will fit behind the faceplate, but also the faceplate itself. So if there's a different aspect ratio on the screen, the actual display area of the screen is different, we may need to offset that. Or if it's a larger size, we may need to change the actual square opening in the plastics to be able to view it. So a lot of times it does involve a lot of core engineering changes to be able to manipulate the models and make all of these different changes in there. So usually what we try to stick to is a 10.1 inch display. It's fairly common across multiple different tablets, and we can try to keep up with different tablets in the industry, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So another common question we get is, well, can I use an iPad? I want to use an iPad. I'm an Apple fanatic. I only use Apple products. I'll have to have an iPad inside of my car. Well, there's a lot of really good reasons why we don't support iPads. Number one is an iPad is an iPad is an iPad. It was never designed to actually integrate and work with other different systems. So not up until just the recent iPad Pros has it even worked with some USB accessories. Not until just the most recent will it work with some Bluetooth accessories and a Bluetooth LE standpoint. So if we need to control climate control, if we want to run relay accessories, if we want to do anything at all when it involves integrating that device with something else in the vehicle, it's very, very, very difficult, if not impossible, to do with an iPad. And the iPad is very locked down. You can't customize it, you can't do overrides, you can't do gestures, you can't do these certain things. Each app is meant to be in an island on its own inside of that platform. So it's really not that conducive for being able to use inside of a vehicle, especially with the small icons on the launch pad. Trying to drive and touch an icon is very, very difficult. So we try to do some things in our software to be able to manage some of those difficulties while driving and using a head unit inside of a vehicle. Now, some people from the Apple community going, well, I'm worried I don't have app, whatever that app is, for Android. Well, here's something that not a lot of Apple people know, is that Android makes up 75% of the smartphone market. That's right, Apple users, you're only 25% of the smartphones that are out there. So when app developers are building apps, for sure they're going to have a version available for Android, unless it's an Apple-made specific app on the device, then it's hard to be able to get those on an Android device. So that gives you a little bit of background on kind of the fitting that we go through and how to be able to make it work inside the dashboards. Like, we are laser scanning everything down to the millimeter to make sure that it's an OEM like fit in there. So it's hard to just put another one in without a bunch of rework that's in there. And the same thing a lot, you know, the answers that we just talked about from an iPad perspective. Now, Android tablets. Why aren't we using the latest and greatest Android tablets available? Yes, we primarily are using the 2016 model of the Tab A, the 10.1 inch device that's in there. Now, reasons being for that is that it uses micro USB. Micro USB, we have been able to find a way to be able to make Samsung tablets charge and also use USB accessories at the same time. It's typically the only tablet, just Samsung devices out there, that will allow for this type of manipulation. Usually an Android device is either in accessory mode or in charge mode. And so we've been able to figure out ways to be able to do both on that device. Now, making our plastics work in our upcoming Mark II versions with the brand new Tab A, the 2019 version, is also going to be possible, but we have a couple of challenges. Not on the plastics themselves, we've got the design work done for that. It's in the fact that it's actually using USB-C as its connection. Now, you might think, oh great, USB-C, problem's all solved. They support charge and USB accessory at the same time. Wonderful. The only problem here is in a vehicle situation, typically these hubs are powered by an external source that's powering the charge to the tablet, and it's being able to run any of the different accessories that are in there. Problem is, when that power turns off in the car, your tablet is going to charge and provide power to all those accessories across that USB channel, therefore draining the battery almost overnight on that, especially if any of the hubs or in that circuitry have a LED on it or anything like that, it can drain it severely. This is also something that we corrected in those lava connectors by clipping a little leg on one of the circuits that are in there to try to prevent that from happening. So are we going to support those USB-C devices? Absolutely. We're working on a little bit of circuitry that helps us get around this problem of using a tablet in an automotive setting. So one of the arguments too is very much, well, I want the latest and greatest technology in this tablets. You know, that 2016 version is the 2016 version. Well, it was the most latest and greatest up until this spring when the 2019 version comes out. They typically go through 3-year cycles. Realistically, if you take a look at the specs between those two different devices, they're almost identical. The main difference is on the new tablets, they got rid of the physical buttons on the bottom and they went to a USB-C charge port instead of the micro USB. So the rest of the specs of the tablet are exactly the same. Yes, the other concern is how often are they going to update versions of Android for older tablets, and I totally get that. So, and that's why we are going to be able to support the 2019 model of those tablets, where, like I said, we're just working through that circuitry. So I wanted to just take that time to give you guys a little bit of a background, also provide a video for those that are asking the question, can I support Tablet XYZ? The limitations that we are dealing with are usually size and space and technology from that USB-C standpoint. We should be able to move up to some newer tablets as we solve that USB-C problem. And we should be able to kind of keep migrating our tablets along those different lines. So that's a little bit of a background. Hopefully that's informative to you, and hopefully you stay tuned for more videos from us.